Swadika, thank you for joining us on Newsline. We are broadcasting live on NBT, Radio Thailand FM 88, and on NBT World. It's Friday, January the 16th of 2015, and you're with me, Tra Chirakosan. Thais from all walks of life came pouring in at the 100th anniversary of Sirirat Pavilion at Sirirat Hospital throughout yesterday to sign their well wishes for better health for His Majesty the King. Among them were the Israeli ambassador to Thailand, His Excellency Simon Rodade, military officers from the aviation unit of the Royal Thai Army, staff members of the Bang Moon Nakpum Wityakom School in Pichit Province, members of the Faculty of Law of Thaksin University in Patalung Province, public relations officials of Pathum Thani Province, and other members of the mass media. Officials of the Tambon Bukit Administrative Organization in Chaw Airong District, Narathiwat, members of the Central Juvenile and Family Court in Surat Thani Province, members of the Defense Industry Department, and many groups of teachers and students of colleges and schools, both in Bangkok and various provinces. The North Bangkok University, in cooperation with Prawat Rung Ryung Foundation and Siam Computer and Language School, will hold a cultural show next month in honor of Her Royal Highness Princess Maha Chakri Sirinthorn on Her Royal Highness's 60th anniversary this year. The university announced the arrangement at a press conference held at its campus in Sai Mai district of Bangkok. The performance will be held in the form of a like or Thai traditional dramatic performance under the episode of For the Mother's Land. It will be staged at the university on February 28th of 2015 in honor of Her Royal Highness Princess Maha Chakri Sirinthorn. Her Royal Highness will turn 60 on the 2nd of April of this year. Proceeds from the performance will be presented to Her Royal Highness for royal charity projects. Those who wish to attend can contact the university at 972-7200. Once again, the number is 02-972-7200 or 02-972-6111, all the way to 8. Taking a look now at our Thailand Moves Forward segment, Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha has invited the United Arab Emirates, or UAE, to take part in economic development projects in border provinces. Prime Minister Prayut expressed his appreciation towards the 40-year friendship between Thailand and UAE while being paid a visit by UAE Ambassador to Thailand, His Excellency Mr. Muhammad Ali Ahmed Omran Al-Shamsi at the Government House. He thanked the UAE for its continuous support for various projects aimed at helping Thai Muslims, including building masjids, renovating schools, and sponsoring Thais wishing to observe the Hajj pilgrimage to Mecca. As he commended the UAE ambassador for his efforts to expand trade ties between the two countries, General Prayut persuaded UAE to act as the regional distribution center of Thai agro-products, particularly rice, and take part in various investment projects in border provinces. In regards to tourism, the Premier assured that Thailand would try their best to facilitate UAE visitors. According to the UAE ambassador, the number of UAE tourists taking vacations in Thailand is growing each year. In 2014, the number of UAE people coming to Thailand for medical treatment purposes was recorded at 155,000. UAE accounts for the second largest group of visitors to Thailand, compared to other Middle Eastern countries. On this occasion, both sides agreed to conduct more meetings between delegates of all levels and discuss further cooperation to strengthen ties. Thailand and Australia have expressed interest to raise the level of trade and investment between the two countries. Australian Ambassador to Thailand, His Excellency Paul Robilier, told Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister General Thanasak Patimaprakon that Australia was preparing to send a business delegation to Thailand to explore opportunities to promote bilateral trade and investment. He also told the Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister that Australia considered Thailand as the center of ASEAN and the 8th biggest trading partner of Australia. In the meeting, General Thanasak also invited Australian Foreign Minister Julie Bishop to visit Thailand and co-chair the second meeting of the Thailand-Australia Joint Commission. The President of the National Legislative Assembly, or NLA, said 3 impeachment cases currently under the NLA's deliberation will be settled by January 23rd of this year. NLA President Ponpet Wichit-Cholachai has reassured the public of the NLA's impartiality in the impeachment cases against former Premier Yingluck Shinawatra, former Senate Speaker Nikom Wairajaphanit, and former House Speaker Somsak Suranon, saying that the legislature would adhere to the rule of law and that justice will be given to all stakeholders involved in these cases. On this occasion, the President informed members of the legislative body that the impeachment motions against former House and Senate speakers will be closed on January 21st, while the motion against Ms. Yingluck will be closed the following day. He went on to disclose that the verdicts on the 3 cases will be rendered on January 23rd. The former premier is currently facing charges stemming from rice pledging scheme, which was operating under her administration and saw tremendous financial losses. Meanwhile, Mr. Nikom and Mr. Somsak are facing charges for an attempt to amend a bill pertaining to the origin of the Senate. Both speakers of the Senate and House of Representatives have fielded all questions against them in the impeachment hearings at the National Legislative Assembly. In his responses to the NLA, former Senate Speaker Nikom Wairajaphanit denied he has done anything wrong when chairing the parliamentary session deliberating the amendment of the Constitution. He also turned down claims that his involvement in the Charter Amendment was intended to help him secure another term in office. Likewise, former House Speaker Somsak Suranon refuted all claims that the anti-graft agency has included in the impeachment recommendation against him, including the allegation of the falsification of draft charter amendment. Representatives of the government have met with members of the National Reform Council, or NRC, to discuss the work progress of the NRC and their future direction. The government has sent a group of its representatives to meet with NRC President Tianchai Kiranan and Chairman of the Constitutional Drafting Committee, Bawansak Uwano, and heads of all 18 reform committees. The discussion focused on the strategies to push for more concrete outcome of important laws from the reform process that will benefit the public with a time enactment of 3 months, 6 months, and a year. The meeting agreed that both sides will set up their own coordinating teams and that they will meet every Monday and Tuesday to help speed up the reform process while working on problems or obstacles either of them may encounter. Teachers in the rest of South hope to restore peace and prevent violence in the 3 southern border provinces by calling for an educational reform. The second Vice President of the National Reform Council, or NRC, Dr. Tassana Buntong, was handed a petition by Mr. Bunsom Tong Si Prai, the chairman of the Southern Teachers Federation, who requested that the NRC promptly push for education reform in southern provinces, given that better education could help bring peace and unity amongst the residents. And in addition, it might be able to help resolve and prevent violent attacks from taking place in the area. According to Mr. Bunsom, a large number of people have been affected by the unrest during the past decade, with educators being the group affected the most. He added that many teachers have lost their lives while those still alive have to live in fear. The Federation also called for educational equality, saying every individual must have equal access to education and that curriculum offered in the secluded parts of the South must meet the same requirements as those offered in other areas. In addition, the chairman of the Southern Teachers Federation said that Southern teachers should be entitled to welfare benefits and other privileges, all of which can encourage them to carry on their daily routines in educating and fostering the youngsters. In response, the second NRC vice president said the reform body emphasizes great significance to welfare and, more importantly, safety for teachers working in the South, while promising that the matter will be promptly forwarded to the NRC meeting for deliberation. The National Legislative Assembly, or NLA Committee, in charge of educational affairs, has introduced a new short film aimed at boosting the awareness on its education reform in Thailand. Chairman of the NLA Committee on Education and Sports, Tuang Anpachai, said that the committee has pushed ahead with several educational reform attempts during the past 3 months. In doing so, a number of subcommittees have been set up to help speed up the process, while public forums have been held in many areas to hear the people's opinions related to the development of Thailand's educational system. Among the plans pursued by the committee are the promotion of awareness and freedom of education and the improvement of teaching system at small schools, for instance. The committee has just completed a new short film titled A New Breed of Teachers, which features a storyline based on opinions from noted experts from around the country. He said that the committee hopes the new film will help boost the awareness of people in reform of Thailand's education. Interior Minister General Anupong Paujinda has reiterated to all related units to expedite the delivery of necessary assistance to people affected by the cold disaster. Providing an update to the current disaster situation, the minister said that since last November, a total of 26 provinces have been declared winter disaster zones, covering 23,779 villages in 2,066 sub-districts in 282 districts. Meanwhile, Director General of the Department of Disaster Prevention Mitigation, Chatchai Promlet, revealed that the DDPM had been providing aid to those affected by the winter, especially the wide distribution of blankets and winter clothes. He said DDPM staff has kept on monitoring the weather conditions in order to adjust relief operations according to the prevailing weather situation. However, the public suggests to prepare themselves for the cold weather. The Bangkok Metropolitan Administration is planning to extend its walking street projects to 5 other areas after the success in the Silom area. Speaking after a meeting with the BMA board members and presidents of 6 Bangkok district groups, advisor to the Bangkok governor, Police Major General Wichai Sang Prapai, revealed that the participants agreed with the idea of holding walking streets at 5 other areas in the capital. The new locations are Chang Watana Road, Yawarat Road, Soi Ramkampang 24, Bangkunon Road, and the road under the Ramanine Bridge. The launch of Bangkok Walking Street is intended to open an opportunity for business operators who were affected by the BMA's reorganization of footpaths, which lead to a ban on sales activities in pedestrian areas. The walking street, which kicked off on Silom Road late last year, was reportedly well received by shoppers who not only were able to buy inexpensive goods but also had a chance to enjoy fun-filled performances. Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha and the Ministry of Interior also viewed the campaign as a way to boost the economy and distribute income. The presidents of the 5 Bangkok district groups overseeing the events will later discuss with local communities to conclude on the days the events will be held and the products and activities to be available for visitors. Office of the Ombudsman of Thailand is an independent entity who works actively to investigate misuse of power of public officials and agencies and to provide justice to people who have a complaint about their mistreatment. For more on this, Kun Suchani Rungmuanpon has the details.
Thailand has gone through many political transitions over time, and even today, trust that people have in government is still a major concern in the country. and there is much more public concern about the transparency of the government. To counter this perceived lack of transparency, there has been the introduction of the Ombudsman within the government, who is an appointed official that investigates the possible misuse of power by public officials and agencies based on citizens' complaints. The Ombudsman was mentioned in different sections of 1997 Constitution and is described as an independent entity who serves as an overseer of the legislative branch and who has the mandate to investigate the work of state officials. An ombudsman is also appointed as a mediator to promote a better understanding between civil servants and citizens and are encouraged to strengthen the administrative divisions of the state to be more effective in order to benefit the people.
ผู้ตรวจการแผ่นดินนั้นมีหน้าที่ที่สำคัญก็คือเรื่องของการเป็นที่พึ่งประชาชนในการที่จะมาร้องเรียนเป็นด่านแรกนะครับที่จะประชาชนจะเข้าถึงได้ง่ายที่สุดนะครับความขัดแย้งที่เกิดขึ้นถ้าหากว่าไม่ได้รับการเยียวยาแก้ไขหรือไม่สามารถแก้ไขปัญหาได้แล้วเนี่ยประชาชนก็ต้องก้าวไปสู่ขั้นต่อไปก็คือต้องไปร้องเรียนต่อศาลปกครองนะครับซึ่งเมื่อคดีไปถึงศาลปกครองแล้วก็คงต้องมีการเตรียมการที่มากขึ้นไปอีกนะฮะประชาชนก็อาจจะเข้าถึงได้ยากนะครับแล้วก็การทำหน้าที่ของผู้ตรวจการแผ่นดินนั้นก็ควรจะเป็นไปด้วยความรวดเร็วนะครับแต่ว่าต้องรับฟังข้อมูลอย่างรอบด้านนะต้องคำนึงถึงตัวบทกฎหมายคำนึงถึงอำนาจหน้าที่แต่ละหน่วยงานรัฐ
So, as a citizen, if you know of real wrongdoing by civil officers and wish to make complaints against them, you can dial the hotline number 1676, which is free and available nationwide. You can even file complaints via the post by identifying your name, address, telephone number, and the nature of complaint. And if you wish to remain anonymous, you can also make this clear in your complaint letter. And you can even file complaints in person at the Ombudsman office, which is located at the address below. For more information, you can visit the website of the Ombudsman at www.ombudsman.go.th. The information is provided in both Thai and English. Maybe it's time that we need to work together towards a brighter future for the nation by using the proper and legal mechanisms that we have available to make important improvements for our nation. Sushani Rumanpon, NBT World.
And that's the end of today's edition of Thailand Moves Forward. Before we take a quick break, let's have a look at the exchange rates and commodity prices.
Maintain a strong nation, Thailand is promoting 12 core values for the good of the people. The 8th core value, maintaining discipline and respectfulness of the law and the elderly.
Even if we don't see them, they are amongst us. And they're hungry. Slay your power-sucking monsters. Take their power away. Think when you plug.
Faithful Buddhists are invited to donate to the building of a huge Buddha statue known as Praputta Metta. It's to be constructed at Tepratan Temple, Soidao, Jantaburi. With a 20,000 baht donation, the donor's name will be engraved on the foundations of the statue. Those wishing to contribute may make their donations at the Royal Thai Embassy or at the Consulate General in each country, 7-Eleven convenience stores and stores with counter service signs, Rung Thai Bank, Siam Commercial Bank or Bangkok Bank. Please contact the phone number shown for more details.
Welcome back. You're watching Newsline. An Indonesian search official yesterday said the recovery teams would raise the fuselage of the crashed AirAsia passenger jet after it was located off the coast of Kamilatan. A naval vessel on Wednesday found the fuselage of the AirAsia QZ-8501 about 3 kilometers from the area where the tail section was found. The tail was retrieved last week. Searchers believe more bodies will be found in the plane's fuselage. Families of the passengers are hoping that the bodies of their loved ones will be found in the fuselage. Indonesia AirAsia flight QZ-8501 lost contact with air traffic control in bad weather on December 28th, less than halfway into a 2-hour flight from the city of Surabaya to Singapore, killing all 162 people on board. So far, 50 bodies have been plucked from the Java Sea, with most brought to Surabaya for identification. French Defense Minister Jean-Yves Le Drian welcomed additional troops brought into Paris yesterday to reinforce security in the wake of deadly attacks by Islamist gunmen in the French capital. Last week, 17 people were killed in 3 days of violence that began with an attack on the Charlie Hebdo satirical weekly and ended with dual sieges at print works outside Paris and a kosher supermarket. The minister said extra forces would be deployed outside what he called sensitive areas, be it places of worship, schools, public places. The Defense Ministry said on Wednesday night that 10,500 military had been deployed on home soil. In the capital, security outside media outlets, transport hubs, synagogues, and Jewish schools had been beefed up. The Defense Minister said the deployment had been done with exceptional speed. Also in France, which tightened its anti-terrorism laws last year, the government will next week put forward a draft law that would make intelligence gathering and monitoring easier. 3 female rhinos from Israel's Safari Zoo in the central city of Ramat Gan of Israel took a day trip recently and escaped through a side gate after one of the security guards fell asleep. The 3, named Rihanna, Karen Pellis, after popular Israeli singer, and Carta Bella, Hebrew for Rhino Bella, were caught on CCTV camera running back into the safari while being chased by the guard. The safari spokeswoman said the rhinos managed to flee after the guard fell asleep at 6 a.m. when the side gates opened to the public. The spokeswoman added when the 3 arrived at the parking lot, they were being spotted by passerbys who called the police, which alerted them to the safari, and the zoo manager rushed to the site and drove them back by clapping their hands. The spokeswoman also stated that the guard who fell asleep was, of course, fired. And that's it for today's edition of Newsline. For any comments or suggestions, please feel free to email them to us at newsline.nbt@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Facebook. Just simply type in NNT or check out our website at thainews.prd.go.th/newseng. We're going to say goodbye now with footage of elephants warming themselves by the fire in Chiang Mai province. I'm Tra Thiragosan. Have a wonderful day. Sawasdee ka.